All right, here we go. Brand new Flyers Daily for Thursday, April 4th, 2024. Flyers Daily presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. We got a lot for you in this episode. There's not a lot going on in the NHL tonight of consequence to the Flyers. The Devils are playing the Rangers tonight. The Rangers are sitting in the top spot at 104 points. The Devils now in the 7th spot in the Metro with 76 points. They have a game in hand on the Flyers, and they are sitting 7 points back. So not of huge consequence. At the time of taping, game hasn't happened yet, but we have a lot for you, irregardless, if that's even a word. So what's in this episode? Two things. A little longer episode, number one. It's an off day, so we can stretch our legs a little bit. First and foremost, we're going to get to a conversation that I had yesterday with Flyers goaltender Ivan Fedotov. And I think it's such an interesting conversation. He's a very interesting guy. Obviously, we know what he's been through to an extent. We don't know the details of what it was like to go through it. And that's not something we're really going to go through in this conversation. But we're going to talk about him being here now, about adjusting to the NHL, about being in the NHL, the realization of that dream, about breaking in new equipment, something that I posted about when he first got here. Some people kind of poo-pooed that breaking in new equipment wasn't a big deal. It is a big deal to a goaltender, and he'll talk about it. He's in pretty much all new equipment. So that is something that I've gone through as a goalie. Everybody that's gone through it as a goalie, it's not fun. It's exhausting. It's more tiring when you can feel your equipment on you and you're breaking in new equipment and not feeling totally comfortable in your equipment. That takes a little bit of time. When you don't even feel your equipment on you is that's when you know you're comfortable. When you don't even notice that you're wearing a chesty, an upper body protection unit. We call it a chesty in goaltending parlance. Or your glove is molded to your hand perfectly. Or your pants, they hug you in the right ways and they lay properly, and your pads and your rest points when you put your arms on your pads are all dialed in and you don't feel any of your equipment. That's when you're comfortable. He'll talk about that and much more. And I'm not going to edit this video at all, or this audio. His English is decent, not perfect. There's some things that are lost in translation. And at one point in the interview, when I talked to him about why he became a goaltender, you'll hear him kind of talking to someone else in Russian. That's Denis Gurianov, who came into the interview with him, a bit of support system to help kind of, if there's some areas where he wasn't understanding what I'm asking, he could help me out. And Denis came in of his own fruition. And those players like Denis Gurianov and Yegor Zamula, we talk about this as well, are a big help to his transition here in Philadelphia, in the NHL, in North America, a world away from where he was before. After we hear from Ivan Fedotov, we're going to hear John Tortorella's press conference from yesterday, because I thought it was fascinating. And we'll talk about that after we hear from Ivan Fedotov. Here's my conversation with the Flyers goaltender. It is a brand new episode of Flyers Daily, and really looking forward to this conversation. We get to sit down with Flyers goaltender Ivan Fedotov. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Appreciate it. Great feelings. So first game behind, and now it's most important time for us, all of us. So great feelings. Fans is awesome. So I don't know what to say more. So it's like now it's need a little bit time for understanding all of what's happened. So, and
chance to exhale a little bit. And it's been, I'm sure, dizzying for you. Mm-hmm. Coming over, busy, change time zones, all that stuff. To just play goalie, that's the fun part, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's correct. You're right. Now it's a bit hard time for me, so for sure. But I'm just how coach said me, like, just have fun. So that's what I do. Yeah, just enjoying, and all guys great. So funny. So, and it's awesome.
Making saves is fun. I had a chance to watch when you get into the game in the second period, and at the first TV timeout, you skate over to the bench, and I could see you kind of looking up in the crowd. Was that the kind of the realization of a moment for you?
During the game, I'm doing whatever I wanna. I don't care. I not so much focused on yourself. I can just look up or look side or
Gotta stay focused.
Yeah, but I don't care too much for about the game. So if I feel a little bit pressure or not nervous, excited yet, I can just I need a little bit look around and look on the screen TV and what's happened there. So it's just like this.
Why'd you end up in goal? How'd you end up being a goalie? Like the old North American story is, you either had older brothers that shoved you in goal so they could shoot pucks or balls at you, or you loved the equipment. Is it the same story for you? How did you end up being a goalie?
Ничего понял. No, it's like mostly guys. I'm beginning player from forward, but it's not a long time. It's a couple months after that. So coach said me about your dad is tall. Probably you will be too. And now we have a problem with the goalie. So and that so many years ago in Russia had a lot of problem with the goalies, and it's big problem position. So it's been.
So you filled the need.
Yeah,
you guys needed a goalie, and you went.
And I always, it's for me always interesting, position in life in hockey, unique. How it's all. Yeah, it's players. It's so much players in the team, and only one goalie in the team. But two, only one.
But there's only one crease.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's more challenge for me. All right. Yeah, it's interesting.
It's actually what drew me to the position as well, is that I didn't leave the ice and I could play all the time.
Yeah, it is.
And the pressure that comes with it is something that's, I think, the greatest part of the position.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, goalie. I think it's always not feeling under the pressure. So all people talk about you about this position. So it's because if team lose, so always goalie play bad. So sorry, goalie play bad, and that's why we lose the game. So or if you win the game, of course, team play well. So coach good, goalie all right, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
It's opinions can change so fast. So it's
understanding the position, I say all shots are not created equal. People say, oh, well, he made 33 saves on 34 shots. It could be an easy night for a goalie, pending where those shots come from. The difference between the KHL and the NHL is pretty pronounced. And actually, the guy you went against the other night, Semyon Varlamov, talked about that years ago when he went back to the K and came back, about the traffic around the net and learning how to play in the NHL. You only have 2 periods under your belt right now, but clearly you're equipped from a size standpoint to deal with traffic, look over it at times.
Yeah, at least it's same thing like in KHL. So, but 100% sure here guys playing more better in front. So more tipping, more deflection, good play for rebound. So I don't know. I don't care too much about it because I tall enough, and for me, more easy control where is puck coming, and I can better read what will be happen on next step. It's puck come inside, probably player. So here's really good players playing for tips. And if you can see how puck's coming, it's much easier. Like be ready for shoot where it will be tipped. So because how is so yeah, play goalies so much scores when goalies didn't see a puck or so it's
hard to stop it when you don't see it. It's got to hit you at that point.
Yeah. So my opinion, current percent, it's a little bit difficult, but if you will be think about it too much, it will be difficult for you.
You can't control that part.
Yes, it is. It is what it is.
Yeah. Let me ask you about gear. You came over. It looks like you're in all new gear, probably with the exception of skates, jock, and mask. The new chest protector.
Yeah.
Something getting used to. And that I always hated breaking that one in as a goalie. and the glove. What's it been like breaking in new gear real quick?
Yeah. I have my older skates, so I think other things, it's all new stuff, all new gear.
You just don't feel comfortable right away in it, do you?
Nah, it's like 100%. So for sure. So, but I can't right now change the situation. So yeah, I have what I have. So and just playing, enjoying fun, and it's really, really good. So right now I have my old stuff like Bauer pads, but right now I don't like Glove and Blacker Bauer. Last 4 or 5 months I played in True set up, but now I'm feeling good in pads Bauer and True Glove and Blacker. So right now I feel more comfortable than first days.
Yeah.
So
every day it gets more comfortable.
Yeah, but chest and pants, it's different. It's I don't know how it's called, but it's not the same.
Yeah. And you feel it.
Yes.
As a goalie, when you put on your stuff, you just don't want to feel it. You don't even want to know it's there. It's when you know you're comfortable.
Yeah. So usually I have so many details for my chest and pants, like for some straps, and it's here when I came. So it's just regular. It's
stock stuff.
Stuff.
Are you real particular about your equipment? Are you kind of one of those guys that looks for every kind of advantage to how you wear your equipment, the strapping, all of that stuff? Because those are the tools to your craft.
Yeah. We like told about it. We
experiment.
Yeah, we try to find it. Best things, best stuff for you for comfortable. So but sometimes like anything can happen, like, and you need to how's called you need to wait, like
find out what works for you.
Yes, like this, yeah. So
I mean, everybody's body is different. Sometimes the pads will seal on the ice different for you than they would for me.
Obviously,
yes, there's a slight height difference between you and I. Last thing for you, I love the white mask, like with just the chin piece on it, like
like
it's
old
kind
school,
of a throwback, yeah. But eventually, you're gonna go full paint, right?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. But I like it too. Yeah, like. It's much better than just white. So now I have like a couple stickers. It's Philly logo and like the flyers. I like it. It's looking like like old school.
Yeah, it does.
I know it. Yeah, and I'm waiting. I think it's couple days more, and I will have a new mask. So we'll see. We'll see.
Do you have all your masks? Like you're going to display them at some point in your home when you retire? I mean, you look at my home studio. I got like masks all over the place. I love them.
Yeah.
Coolest part about the position is the mask. Let's be honest.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I like it. I like this moment. So when you need to paint your mask, so and how it's called, you can be great here, like with who paint.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I like when it's some details like this, or like logo like this, or some buildings, or whatever you want. So you can do whatever you want, like, and trying new things, like, and find. We'll see. Yeah, but now I had some idea, and I think we will have a really good first mask here. First my helm. Yeah.
Well, Franny's the painter, and he is awesome. You're gonna love him. Ivan, thanks for doing this. I know that Dennis and Zamula have been big for you.
Yeah,
to have those guys here to help you out.
Yes, 100%. So now it's so much important for me. We have Russian guys who they
helps that transition.
Yeah, they let me know like how it's do it, or where I can eat, or like all information. So because it's important time for me, and we'll see. Because first steps, it's always hard, always difficult, and now it's tough time for me. But I don't care too much about it. But it's really good that I have guys who can help me.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
Important. Yeah, huge.
Yeah, Ivan, welcome to Philadelphia. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. So we'll be see you next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks to Ivan Fedotov for taking the time after, I guess that was really his first official practice as a Flyer. It was more of a skills practice, too. It wasn't very long, but he got in some game action, saw 2 periods, and got a taste of the NHL, something maybe at times through his ordeals that he did not think would happen. I didn't think it would happen, and I'm thrilled to see it happen from the human interest side of it and the hockey side of it as well. I'm really excited to see how he assimilates to the NHL. It's almost a bummer that we're coming down to the final 6 games of the regular season and hopefully playoffs, because I want to get to know Ivan Fedotov. I want to get to know his game. I want to see him develop. But obviously an offseason will give him a chance to get more comfortable, provided he signs a contract extension with the Philadelphia Flyers this offseason. I think that'll happen, and I'm looking forward to the future for Ivan Fedotov. I think there's a lot of personality in there as well as he gets more comfortable with the language. I think we'll see that come out of him also. I had a chance to talk to him after the interview was over a little bit, and talking about equipment and masks, and showed him all the masks that I have here in my background of the home studio, and he was loving that. So bonding over goaltending is always fun for me with NHL players, and even players that are just came here from a half a world away. We can bond over that conversation, which is a lot of fun. And I look forward to corresponding with him quite often over the next bunch of years. Great stuff from Ivan Fedotov. Hope you enjoyed that as well. I'd love to get to people's feedback on it. You can always send me an email at jason.myrtetus, Myrtetus, @gmail.com. And you can also DM me on Twitter or tweet me. I love responding to those. And if you're watching on YouTube, comment below. Make sure you ring the bell also and subscribe here to the Flyers YouTube channel. Next, I want to get to John Tortorella's availability yesterday with the media. We know that the other night after the game, he was very critical of his team, in particular the second period. And he said some things, which you're going to hear here, about it. And also about accountability and his own self-accountability. Here's Flyers head coach John Tortorella from yesterday's media availability.
Tortorella left with an injury last game. Do you have any update if he'll be able to come back to you guys? Or
not sure, day to day.
Okay.
There's been a lot, if you go back to January, there's been a lot of noise, it seems, around this team. It's all, go to a trade. And, I know some of that's related to some of the stuff that you say in press conferences and whatnot, but when there's so much going on around one team, and it seems like it's one thing after another, do you ever worry about the group in the room maybe responding in an adverse way?
No.
Just is it not with this group because you've talked about how close they are, or is it just you have to tune that out as a pro athlete?
I think both. I think this is a pretty special group, and I think all the athletes need to learn to tune stuff out, and I think they've done a really good job of that. Yeah, but I think it's a group that's just locked in together, and I don't think too much is going to affect them. I'm not sure there's always noise around teams in professional sports. I'm not sure which noise we're talking about. I don't know.
Well, we go back to the Gauthier trade, the stuff
Yeah.
with Carter Hart.
Yeah.
You getting kicked out of a game, frankly,
Yeah.
in Tampa.
Yeah.
All that stuff sort of resonates with a national audience,
Yeah.
right? And those guys are all, you've talked about the modern athlete, those guys are all on social media, I'm sure. But at the same time, some of those guys said they just kind of laugh about it and it helps bring them together.
Yeah, I do think. See, I'm at a disadvantage, and certainly not an insult to you guys. I just don't read it. I just there's too many other things that I need to worry about, and I'm not as in tune to what's going on. Bigger stuff, of course, with Cutter and all that stuff going on, and but I do think sometimes it helps a team. I think if you handle it the right way, it helps the team, and I know we have a close group down there, and one thing we are, from coaches, Danny, Jonesy, the players, we are transparent down there. And there's no wondering what the guy's thinking. To me, that's the most important thing, is from our ownership right on down that we're transparent with one another. And I think we've done a pretty good job being transparent with you guys, too. I think that's so important, especially when we're in this situation and building this team. So everybody has a chance to say what they want to say. And I think that's really important. And what happens, if you're truthful and you're honest and you care, there's going to be conflict because not everybody's going to agree.
Right.
You work through that together, I think that even helps the room even more. So I think that's what's gone on here, and I think it's really healthy. Everybody gets freaked out around us sometimes when there's some truth said or honesty brought out. I think it's so healthy because there's no agenda. I think that's so important for a locker room.
So when you say what you say after the game 2 days ago about maybe certain guys not having what
Yes.
this time of year,
Yes.
you don't. Obviously, I'm sure there's truth to that coming from you because
Yes.
you're pissed off about the second
Ye-
period.
yes.
You don't worry about any of that in the room. Maybe guys taking it the wrong way. You expect them they're going to handle it the right way.
If-
they know where they stand with you.
Yes.
So that makes you maybe less afraid to say something.
Yeah, I don't remember it all, but it's not just the second period. As I watch the tape, to me, it's more than just the second period, and I don't worry about that. If a player, or it always comes down to, right? It always comes down, they're going to quit on him. It follows me around. And so be it. If a player's going to quit on me, or players are going to quit on me because I'm trying to make them better people and better athletes, you got the wrong damn coach here, and you got the wrong damn people here. So I'm not sure what goes on. My job is I am going to push athletes, and I try to stay away from I have other things on my mind that I don't give you. I was in control the other night. What I said I meant, and quite honestly, when I watch the tape now, I'm more concerned than just the second period because I'm so proud of the team getting here. And I guess now the narrative out there is, because I've heard from other people, that they're young, they're not supposed to be here. Bullshit. We're here. We're here. Face it. And let's be better. And I don't think we're ready to be better. And that's my problem with us right now. And it is my job. I have not done a good enough job to get them over the hump after playing those 7 games. And then each game as it goes down, we have 6 left. I haven't done a good enough job to make them understand we have to be different now. We have to be at a different level. That's my frustration with me, and that's my frustration with the team. And if people can't handle it, so be it.
How do you go about that? Is it how you address them, how you talk to the guys, or is it through skate, through the practices? Like, how do you get them over that hump then?
Yes, it's through conversation. I think it's really important. And this is just the way we do it here. There's not a lot of one-on-one meetings here. All our meetings, whether it be good, bad, on a particular player, whatever, it's done right in the line. As we just talked, it's transparency. Because I think when you're coaching certain individuals, I think you can group that into when I'm coaching this guy that I'm not happy with or happy with, I'm also coaching the other guys when you do it in a group setting. I used to do it. You bring them in your office. They won't say anything to you because they're sitting across from you. You're sitting there. Some coaches even have a chair that's higher. They try to look down on the player back in the day, right? I don't do it that way. It's off the cuff. It's in the room, and who knows where it goes. I'm always prepared to go whichever way it wants to go, but I think it's healthy that way. I don't think we should be afraid of that. I don't think we should make it a big deal. Sometimes you guys make a big deal out of it. And I get it's your job and all that, but it's not a big deal. It's just honesty. And I want the same respect. I think it's respectful to be honest that way. I want the same honesty back. The player come at me if he needs to come at me. And that's happened too. And it turns into a really healthy situation.
I got the sense talking to the players down in the room a few minutes ago that it seems like, and this might not be even something that you talk to them about, but it seems like they are trying to tap back into the no one believed in us from the start of the season. We believed in us, and we still do.
Yeah.
Is that something that coaches are reminding them, or do you think that's purely a player-driven thing?
I have my meeting. I think the players. I think the players this time of year, and I think that room needs to talk amongst one another without the coaches there. I think they need to have those conversations. I think we're in there way too much. We have stepped away a lot this year. We're going in there tomorrow because I think it's a very important meeting tomorrow before we get practicing again to talk about our mindset. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but I think we got a pretty important day coming tomorrow as we start our road trip here to make sure we're thinking correctly. And make no mistake about it, I am proud of our team. I love from day one when you could see this room come together. I love coming to the rink and working with these guys, but it's my job to make sure they understand where we're at now. We're not regular season now. We have put ourselves in this spot. Let's not fade away and say, you know what, we're not even supposed to be here. That sucks. We're here, and that's where I think I've done a shitty job. I want to make sure, I guess I'm giving you a little bit of the background of a meeting. I want to make sure we're going to go at this the proper way to give ourselves, so when April, when are we done? 15th? When 15th, 16th, we don't say, God damn, why didn't I do that? Why didn't we get to that level? I don't want regrets. I don't know if we get in. I don't know what happens, but I don't want us to fade now. It's not fading and trying to stay away from it. It's about getting to another level. And I do think some guys are struggling to get there. And I think it can be taught. Some guys have it in them. But to get to another level, a level you don't even think you know about, that can be taught. That's part of my job. So that's what I want to happen. And whether we succeed or not, at least we can look ourselves in the mirror at the end of it and say, we tried. And we're not there. We're not there now. And we have time to get there, but we're running out of it.
Are you leaning on guys like Eric Johnson then here and Mark Stoll?
No, I haven't talked to them about this at all. There's no individual person I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to sick you on them. Because I think that needs to come from within. That needs to come through experiences on the ice in between periods and stuff like that. And I think this is such a great spot to be for us where we're at. And I'll give you, no, I know we didn't think we were going to be here, but we're here. That's the point I'm trying to make. We're here. Don't talk yourself down. Talk yourself up, and don't let other people talk yourself down. And I think it's a great challenge for us here, and I'm looking forward to how the coaches handle it, and I'm really looking forward to how the players handle it, see if we can find our way.
Yeah, I was going to ask, can it be dangerous not to fall into that trap where there are fans and people out there maybe sympathizing with saying this is a rebuilding team, they shouldn't be here? Is it hard to not fall into that trap?
If you want to win, you better not even think about going there. And it's no disrespect. I'm not disrespecting the fans or you guys. We need to create our own narrative down there. We need to create our own mindset down there. That's my job, is to create that. And then let's run with it. So we just need to block it out. I get that. Everybody has to report on stuff, and everybody has their feelings, and you have a perfect right to them. We need to block that out and create our. And to me, it's mindset. Mindset is a very important part of what we're going to talk about tomorrow as we start a 6-game sprint here and find out what we're made of.
You mentioned when Nick Seeler came back that one of the things you missed was his professionalism. And we can see what it means on the ice, but off the ice, when you've got so many young defensemen, how have you seen him impact his team this way, just with the young guys, the Yorks, the Drysdales, the Jennings, the Adders, when they've been on?
Yeah, and Nick Seeler doesn't have to say a word to any one of them. I don't even know if he does or not. If you can't follow his lead, and as far as how he plays, and learn from that as a young defenseman, or as a player, not even a position, just a player, and how he competes, then you're missing the boat because he's right there in your locker room. A lot of times you try to emulate a player, and it may be an opposing player, but he's right there sitting next to you. That's a huge part of what Seals brings here. I watched him play the other night, and he is all over the map. So I'm saying, no, don't go there, and then he makes a great play, or he gets to the puck, or he's a trier. And if we can't use that as an example right now where we're at, where I think some guys are at, listen, I think we're trying, okay, guys? I think we're playing hard. Who cares? Everybody plays hard. The team that gets in, the team that keeps on growing and become that team, that's a given, playing hard. That's your job. That's what Seals goes into a whole different area, and I think people can watch that, and I think that's where our team needs to get to.
You talked about having an open book with guys when you first got here, not knowing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch the way he plays, is he, I guess if you were going to draw a picture of what a John Tortorella player is, would it be Nick Seeler? Would he kind of fit that definition?
Well, I don't think it's a John Tortorella player. I think it's any coaches or any organization that wants an example as far as the competitive mindset that he has, wants around. Remember, when I came here, Seals was, he retired, and I'm not sure what he was doing. He wasn't sure. He wasn't happy. And then when I came here, he was on the board, but really not a lot of discussion about him. He's grown into that guy that, listen, he makes a ton of mistakes, as we all do, as all the players do, but you grow with him because of just the way he carries himself. You see the shot he blocked the other. I didn't realize it during the game. He was on one side of the net. I think it was in the power play. It came over one-timer, and he just ran across the net, hit him in the shoulder. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but he's all over the place, but he is just such a competitor. And I think that's, as what we're talking about most of this session here, we need to get a few other guys in that area too. I'm not sure if someone can get close to where he's at, but we got to get him bumped up, and it gives us a much better opportunity as we play these games. Jackie, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, is this, the way you guys have played on the road this year, is this a good time to get on the road?
I think it's a good time, yeah. I know everybody says that, but I really feel this is a good time because I think we can bunker down together here. And, Yeah, and do it together. This has got to be done together, but it's my job to make sure we're on the right path. And I don't think I've done a good enough job of that here the past couple of weeks, because I think sometimes coaches need to be with the team. I've explained that to you guys. You're coaching Adam sometimes. You need to be with them this time of year. But we've got to straighten some things out. And it's an important time for coaches and players to understand what we're all thinking together. And hopefully we'll get there.
All right, there he is, Flyers head coach John Tortorella. I had a chance to sit down with Torch yesterday, too, for the taping of Hockey and Hounds, and talked about a number of topics about developing that ability to perform when the pressure's on, if it's something that can be developed in younger players, and how you go about developing that and coaching the mind. We had a fascinating conversation. You'll get to hear that on Hockey and Hounds. But one thing that really stuck out to me that Tort's talking about, here's the quote. I'll read it to you from Kevin Kerr's transcribed this on his Twitter account, who covers the Flyers for The Athletic. Tort said, and I quote, "It comes down to, they're going to quit on him. It follows me around. And so be it. If a player is going to quit on me, or players are going to quit on me because I'm trying to make them better people and better athletes, you've got the wrong damn coach here, and you got the wrong damn people here." He went on to say, "My job, I'm going to push athletes. I try to stay away from. I have other things on my mind that I don't give you. I was in control the other night. What I said, I meant. And quite honestly, when I watch the tape now," referring to that game, "I'm more concerned than just the second period, because I'm so proud of the team getting here. I guess now the narrative out there is that I've heard from the other people is they're young. They're not supposed to be here. Bullshit. We're here. We're here. Face it, and let's get better. And I don't think we're ready to be better. And that's my problem with us right now. And it is my job. I have not done a good enough job to get them over the hump. I haven't done a good enough job to make them understand we have to be different now. We have to be at a different level. That's my frustration with me. And that's my frustration with the team. And if people can't handle that, so be it." End quote. I thought it was an incredibly vulnerable comment from a guy that you would never think would be vulnerable in John Tortorella. Yeah, he's gruff. He's tough. He's hard on guys, and he can be tough on the media. And, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. And you know exactly where he sits on a lot of situations and thoughts about his team play, individuals, and so on and so forth. And the tough thing for a coach, I've never been a firm believer that a coach's job is to get a player ready to play. Now, his job is to get a player ready to play from a strategic standpoint, a scouting, pre-scout standpoint, putting him in the right situations. But his job is not to motivate a player. These are professional athletes. They need to motivate themselves. I think sometimes we go, well, coach didn't have him ready to play. That's incumbent upon the player. That's my belief. I know a lot of people do not agree with that. You can go in there and give a Herb Brooks speech, or a great speech, Newt Rockne speech before a game, and that may get some guys pumped up, but that should not be the differentiator to get guys ready to play. Working hard and being ready to play isn't an area where a player, a professional athlete, should get bonus points. Those are job description. Those are non-negotiables. But to get a player to break down barriers in his game that he doesn't even know he can get to a next level is part of the job. And Torts was very critical of himself, that he thinks he hasn't done a good enough job of that because of the way the team has responded since the 7-game gauntlet. The loss to Montreal, the loss to Chicago, and obviously the overtime loss against the New York Islanders on Monday night. So I thought it was very, very insightful commentary from John Tortorella. And even though some of his press conferences post-game can be 38 seconds or a minute and a half, when he's in that flow of where he was yesterday in that press conference, you get a ton of insight from that man and the way he thinks. And damn it, it's about time we had somebody around here that demands more. Sometimes people don't want Torts around because he forces you to look in the mirror and confront your biggest fears. For that, I give him stick taps. Join us tomorrow. We'll preview Flyers, and tomorrow they are in, where are they tomorrow? Oh, they're in Buffalo. We'll preview Flyers Sabres tomorrow on a brand new Flyers Daily.